If you've ever wondered how to become a whiz at Microsoft without the headaches and the heartache, then stay tuned for today's great conversation with Microsoft Princess Melanie Gass.
This is the Women Connected podcast, where we believe that women can improve their personal and professional lives through technology. If you're ready to cut through the noise and learn exactly the tools you need to create your professional brand, be recognized, and keep up in today's fast-paced world, then stay tuned.
Welcome to the Women Connected podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Goodgame, Program Director at TBW, where we believe that women can improve their personal and professional lives through technology. Don't forget to check our website for the show notes for all of our podcast episodes. Just go to tbwconnect.com/listen. If you're enjoying this podcast series, please take a moment and rate and review the podcast on iTunes. We appreciate your support. If you want more great content from TBW, you can like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. But even better, you can join TBW for just $52 a year and get access to members-only resources and events. Visit tbwconnect.com/join for more information. Today I'm talking with Melanie Gass, the Microsoft Princess and President of Centerpoint Solution, a technology firm that focuses on Microsoft productivity solutions. Melanie has created tons of resources on how to use Microsoft products more effectively, and she's recognized as a leading authority and trainer. While Melanie doesn't work for Microsoft, her expertise is broad and deep. So today we're talking about how to use Microsoft tools more effectively, as well as how to parlay your own Microsoft expertise into a promotion or a new career track. Melanie, welcome to Women Connected.
Thanks so much, Lisa. It's an honor to be a part of the show.
Well, I'm really excited about all the topics that we're going to talk about. And I think let's get started first by hearing a little bit about how you got into the work that you do. What motivated you to focus on training and consulting around Microsoft products?
Well, my company is now almost 10 years old. And back then when I was first starting the business, it really was out of a passion and a need for helping others. I had worked in a corporate America environment. I was in the financial arena for a consumer products company. And what I had realized was that when I was working with other departments like sales and marketing and, being in the field and areas of finance, people really didn't understand how Microsoft products work. But I already had that foundation from a company spending money for me to get trained. So it was really born out of that passion for helping others and making sure that they knew the same information I did to be just as effective in their day.
Microsoft products are just really the backbone of the American workplace still, even though some smaller companies are moving to other solutions. But I think as an employee, we all run into those situations where we just feel like we are beating our heads against a wall, trying to find the right answer, especially in Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, which so many of us use. So when you're working with clients, what would you say their number one pain point is when using productivity tools, and how do you help them solve it?
Yeah, everyone is different. And so, while you might have a particular pain point in one program in that day, part of the underlying reason behind it is honestly fear of change. There's so many people who get so used to working with one particular program in one way, the same way day in and day out. And then all of a sudden when a company, and I'll even throw out Microsoft, when Microsoft updates the way that you work in your day with its look and feel, it seems to throw your whole world off because that's not the way that you've done things and look and feel for years. And so it really becomes a challenge, for us as users to get over that hurdle. We might have a particular, question about doing a mail merge in Word, but the underlying thing is that anxiety and that fear that surrounds it because we're now challenged to try something new and maybe possibly do it in a different way. So for me, I take the approach of just trying to help keep them calm. You know, it's a software, it's a technology, and the good news is you can't break it. And it's easy to fix if you do break it, even though you might not be the one that knows how to do it. But it's really, at the end of the day, just helping people be calm and get through that hurdle of fear and anxiety that surrounds trying to learn something new or learning something in a different way than what they've known for years that they've been working with these products.
So as a trainer, what are the different approaches that you take to help people who maybe have different learning styles as they're trying to learn a new program or an update of a program that they've been familiar with for a long time?
Well, in my world, I believe that training should be fun. And I don't believe that you should work with a book that, you know, you listen to an instructor talk and then you read something in a book and then you're left on your own to follow along. And that's what a lot of the traditional training styles do. And I believe personally that you take the approach of making it fun and making it interactive, because if it's fun and it's interactive, that's how you're going to remember it when the time comes after me as a trainer isn't standing next to you or sitting next to you working along side by side. So if you can remember that fun exercise or that item that you do specifically in your day that we were able to connect through and work on, you'll retain the information much quicker and you'll have a much better sense of lightheartedness about it when the time comes to actually do that work that you need to do for that particular program.
That's definitely better than banging on the keyboard, which I will admit to doing more than once. I think about my own experience when I guess Microsoft 2007 launched, which I think that's the version that was really, it was a big change. There were a lot of graphical differences from, I guess, the 2000 and maybe it had been 2003 version. And I remember there were several of us in my office who we would just yell back and forth to each other. Well, how do you do the X, Y, Z? You know, where did you find the this, that, or the other? Because maybe it wasn't less intuitive, but it was so different from the previous versions that we'd been used to working with.
No, and you're absolutely right. I mean, and to that point, the 2007 version was the version that really was the beginning of the game changer for look and feel differences, because and there's a study that goes along with this that I won't bore anyone with, but basically one gentleman internally within Microsoft decided to put all of the toolbars that we had used, you know, that file menu and the edit and all those things across the top, plus all the little picture toolbars that we accommodated over the years. And he put it on a PowerPoint slide, and it literally looked like an airplane cockpit because there were so many things we had learned and worked with over the years. So Microsoft, when they came out with 2007, said, you know, guys, we have to make a change because if we don't start changing this, we don't have any more room to put anything. Only when they did that, the rest of the world that had to use it went, what the heck is this? And how do we get used to it now? So, yes, I feel your pain. It was a very big adjustment. And we still have people right now that are working on that transition like you went through from 2003 to the newest version, which, believe it or not, is already 10 years now with Office 2013. So it's that same look and feel that you experienced, but you know, we still have people going through that transition of what the heck is this and how am I going to work with it now?
Yes, I will admit to up until just maybe 2 years ago, still often saving my Excel files as a 2005 version because I was so much more comfortable working with them that way.
Yep, and that's quite okay. We still have a lot of people that are working that way, and it's quite okay. I mean, the good news is the newer version still opens those files. It still recognizes it, even if people have a Mac and they have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint on it. They all work fine. So as long as you're comfortable with saving it as the older file, that's quite okay. It still opens and it still works, thankfully.
Well, so kind of along those lines, I mean, I think we've all had the experience of starting a new job and discovering that we suddenly need to get up to speed on a new software program. Maybe you've moved into a role where you have to use PowerPoint a lot more than you've ever used in the past, or Excel, which of course can be difficult in a lot of ways. What recommendations do you have for doing that quickly and painlessly, getting some inexpensive training, or finding online resources that can help with either the transition to the new tool or just getting up to speed with something immediately?
Sure. And the good news is you're not the only person that has gone through this transition if you're in this state. So Microsoft has actually done some great videos on general getting acclimated tutorials. So for example, there are absolutely free, no cost to you, tutorials that can help you get acclimated to this ribbon now that you're taking a look at and learning how to navigate through. And just some basic navigation on how to get up to speed with this new program so you don't feel like you have this overwhelming learning curve to get through in order just to open up a Word document. So the good news is there are free resources that Microsoft does have available for you, and through the Microsoft.com site, and I know you're going to post a link as well, Lisa, on the page for them, but the point is it's no cost to you, and it's going to help you get through that hurdle with these free training videos, and they're a video, so it's not walking through a step-by-step instruction. It's actually a real video that you can see and know how everything will work as you're watching this video. And they're very short in time, too, so it's not a huge time investment as well.
So that's a great resource that I think I didn't even realize existed. I have used the Microsoft Help site frequently to find answers to very specific questions, but I don't think I had ever noticed that they have video help tools.
Yeah, it's something that they've started a few years ago. It really started with that version that you were talking about with the 2007 version, and they've really started to evolve that over the course of time. So, for example, it's known underneath the support area, but it has some featured tutorials, and it includes, even when you're looking in there, if you are not using 2013, which is the current PC version Microsoft has available, it even offers other options. If you have Office 2007, there are training videos for you there to help get you up to speed. 2010 training videos to get you up to speed. And I can't neglect the Mac because there is an Office for Mac version, and that gets you up to speed as well. And especially with the Mac version for Microsoft Office, they have done a tremendous job, being Microsoft, in making sure that you understand how that works, because we do have people, especially in the home use world, that are modifying from a PC to a Mac and need to make sure that they know how that transition works and what's available to them. And those free resources are available out there as well. Again, all in video format, free of charge for you to get acclimated and up to speed for.
I'm a Mac user, and I tried for several months to really use, I guess, the Mac version of the productivity suite, for lack of a better way to describe it, pages and numbers and things like that. And what I discovered is that there is just so much out there in the world that really seems to demand the Microsoft Excel formats to be able to use them. And it just really reinforced to me how much, even though we have a lot of new, inexpensive, or even free tools, for example, through Google Drive, how much the Microsoft tools have really just permeated everything that we do when it comes to productivity.
No, and you're absolutely right. I mean, statistically speaking, it's 92% of the world that actually uses Microsoft products in the workplace. And I think, while to your point, there are other products that are out there. There's Google Docs, there's open source options that are out there. Microsoft over the years has added new components, and it honestly has become the standard because that's what was available to us all these years. So there are going to be some common options for formatting that are going to be available in all of those items, whether you are dealing with a Google Doc or you're dealing with another open source option or you're even going with the Microsoft brand. But I think what you find as an advantage by using the Microsoft brand is that you're going to get the latest and greatest features. They're inherent within the Microsoft products. And some of the challenges that we run into, especially with Excel, is that we'll create things in a Microsoft Excel format in a Microsoft Excel document using the Microsoft brand, but when it gets to somebody else, it might not look 100% the same, or vice versa. You know, you might be working on Google Docs and might be using their equivalent of Excel, and a user receives it underneath the Microsoft brand and opens it in that Excel tried and true version, and they go, this is what someone sent me, and I'm supposed to be impressed by this. So the good news is, you get later and greater features with the true Microsoft brand. So it might cost you a little bit more up front, but it's a better impressibility factor and a guaranteed way to make sure everyone can see it and use it as they need to.
So let's shift gears just a little bit and talk about Microsoft certification.
Sure.
You know, we all want something that's going to help us have an edge in the workplace, whether we're competing for promotions or we're looking for a new job. And can you tell us a little bit about what Microsoft certification is and in which fields maybe it gives employees a greater edge?
Absolutely. And Microsoft has had a certification program for a number of years now, and every so often they update that, and they update the requirements. So it's actually perfect timing that you're asking about this, because in that world of certifications, the requirements are changing, and effective in February, they're a little more stringent than they were in the past. So like I said, perfect timing that you're asking about this. But the certification program itself was designed to help people in companies as well as Microsoft partners that might be helping customers be the best that they can be and have some kind of standardized way of measuring who's, we're going to say, you know, the greater of the bunch out of everybody in the world. So they have a certification program, and the certifications are far and wide, and you can decide that you want to be a super technical person and you want to be certified in absolutely every technology Microsoft has out there, or you can say, whoa, hold on a second, I really don't want to go that technical. I'm really, you know, just in a training department in my company, or I want to be recognized as an expert because it will not only make me feel better, but make me recognized more within my company. So let me just get certified on Word because I know that the most, or Outlook because I know that the most. So the point to this is you can have varying degrees, and based on the technology that Microsoft provides, there's a certification that's available, technical or non-technical, to match it, to try and help empower you to that next career choice or to an upgraded opportunity that you may be looking at right now at your workplace.
Are you aware of any statistics that indicate that people get hired more quickly because they have these certifications, or that they can increase their salary as a result of having these certifications?
Well, one of the easiest statistics that I can tell you is in the world of administrative assistant professionals, or in the world of data entry professionals. We get into a lot of cases where, well, I'm just going to take administrative assistants because it's something that I think from an audience perspective, most people understand what that job role is. And the good news with that is, you know, when you're interviewed, the one question they're going to ask is, what are your computer skills? And in some cases, you might have to take a test to see how proficient you are. What's great in that case is that if you are able to say, I am certified in Microsoft Excel. I am certified in Microsoft Word. I am certified in Microsoft Outlook. Number one, your salary automatically gets increased. And statistically, it's a 40% increase. You're 40% more likely to get an increase in your salary over not having that. The second is that the person that's hiring you, as well as human resources, are more likely to look at your resume that has that option on there because, number one, you're automatically recognized as a subject matter expert, and number two, they know from a human resources side more than likely that your boss or superior is going to absolutely love you because that means, as well as the IT department, if it's a large enough company where you have an IT person, because that IT person is going to be excited that you're not running to them for a bunch of questions and may actually leverage you to help them. In another case where you might be working at a help desk or a call center, being able to have that kind of certification will end up getting you a greater salary, and it also establishes you as an expert within your area. And I say this to everyone that gets their certifications and goes to work with them at a new job, exploit it and let the world know about it. Because it's only going to help get you further and let people look at you in that very high light that they, may not have looked at you otherwise because they didn't know that you might have that certification and that you're a master in that particular subject.
Wow, 40%. That is great.
Yeah, it's really good.
And we like to say around here at Women Connected, brag on yourself because nobody else will.
Absolutely.
And this would be a time to do it. So what are people looking at in terms of cost or time to get a certification, for example, to become a certified, Microsoft Word expert?
Sure. And the good news with the Microsoft Office program certifications, the cost of entry is really inexpensive. In fact, you can do self-study on your own, and then you just pay an exam fee, which for one program will say you wanted to be certified in Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint. The exam fee runs about $150, and it's all self-study. And on the Microsoft Learning website, Microsoft actually tells you what skills are going to be measured so that you'll know how proficient you are. There are third-party options. You can do self-paced exams, but it's basically a set of multiple choice questions. It gives you scenarios of a day in the life. So you can do some self-study on that, or get some books that are available through retailers to learn more on the pieces that you're missing, or do some searching, which costs you nothing, and accept your time. But the actual exam itself is only $150, and you get this piece of paper and can exploit it anywhere.
That's great. So we'll definitely provide links to information about that in our show notes. So, Melanie, what is your favorite productivity tool, Microsoft or otherwise?
So my absolute favorite, I have to say, is what Microsoft calls Office 365. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because it's not just one program like Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. Microsoft has bundled a group of products together. And in this case, with Office 365, it's that Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Office version that you use at your day. But it also includes a corporate email. It includes a place for us to store documents and a web conferencing solution. And I can get to all of that information anywhere, anytime, whether I have a mobile device, whether I am working at my desk, or even if I'm on a tablet. So it's a great way to get access to information anywhere. In my case, I travel a lot. I have to be mobile. And whether I have a Windows phone, an Android phone, or an iPhone, I can still access my documents, get to my email, even do a web conference from my phone. So it is one of the most amazing things, and it's something that Microsoft has had for a while in different ways, but it's always costed a lot of money. And as a small business owner, that is kind of a barrier to actually using it. So now it's very affordable, and it's a tool that I use and I take everywhere, and I just can't say enough good things about it. So Microsoft Office 365, my absolute favorite.
So is that available for Mac users, or does it matter?
It actually is available for both Mac and PC. So,
okay.
It's one of these that's finally become available across all devices. So while we might not have a desktop version of, something like Word on our Chromebook, we can still get to a web version of that in the cloud. So it really does get that barrier to entry no matter what device you have, working on documents, saving them, storing them, sending them to others, and having everything in one place.
That's great. I don't think that I realized that existed, and that really sounds like a fabulous solution, especially for small businesses.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the cost ranges, depending on what plan you get, the most you will ever pay is $20 a month, and it can run as low as $6 a month to get all of that bundled together. So it does, for the small business, become a very affordable option for us to get all of these really large company features that we thought we could never have all bundled together at a really affordable shoestring budget rate for the small business.
So, Melanie, we've heard so many great things from you today about ways to kind of make our lives easier with Microsoft. I know that there are a number of other resources that we haven't had a chance to talk extensively about, but we're going to provide access to on our show notes page. Can you just kind of give us a quick overview maybe of some of those?
Absolutely. So one of the things is the training catalog of videos. I know we talked about getting up to speed in a new software to get us up and running, but if you have any of those how-to questions, for example, printing address labels, you've done it once and it was 5 years ago, those kind of videos are available for you, all free of charge thanks to Microsoft, so you can take advantage of those. And then for those of us that might be looking for a career change or want to get more technical information on how things work and how to do things, and are maybe even considering a new career as a technical person in the tech field, there are free ebooks that are available, and there are plenty of them out there. But they're from Microsoft. They are official underneath the Microsoft brand, all free of charge. And these books are, 300 plus pages. They're definitely, for when you're ready. But the good news is they're free, they're self-study at your own pace, and they're all out there for you to take advantage of.
Well, that's wonderful. And as I said, we'll provide links to all of those resources on our show page. Melanie, it's been so great to talk to you today, and I've learned quite a number of new things about Microsoft tools that I didn't know before, so I know our audience is going to take away some great insights and great resources from our conversation.
I'm so glad to hear that, and I hope that it helps everyone out there, and thank you so much for having me on here and being a guest for your show.
My pleasure. I hope to talk again soon.
Yes, me too.
The Women Connected podcast was brought to you by TBW and the TBPW Foundation, underwriter of many of our training and leadership development programs. For more information about TBW membership and our upcoming programs, please visit our website at tbwconnect.com. We hope you'll join us next time on Women Connected.